All right, y'all, let's get into cannabis, the green light a little more. I touched on this on the last video about consuming different plants and cannabis. You are consuming the outside for that outside to work and come through the inside. And as it comes through the inside, it comes and works its way through man, because man is that living crystal. And when we consume light, we reflect that light out. And so the way plants communicate to man is through man. We consume plants, and the plants can consume or can speak through us and tell us things. Okay, and this is kind of what the shamans did back in the day or whatever. Alcohol is a hallucinogenic. Everybody's taking hallucinogenics, and that's a spirit that is coming through man and having you operate in a way to where you're getting more powerful per se, but as you get more powerful, you can go downhill. So it's kind of a weird limbo going on there. It's actually one of the worst ones, and that's why it's legal, but that's a whole nother story. But the cannabis, it's an antigen plant. When you consume it, it fixes what's wrong with you first and then goes from there. And a lot of people living in this world, they have a lot of mental shit go on when they consume cannabis, and they just can't do it. They get paranoid or whatever's going on in their mind, and they're getting basically stoned down to death, and they get couch lock or whatever. Because you have to be taught to be high. You have to be taught to use cannabis. You have to be taught to work through whatever you're going through. Okay? And it's multiple leveled. But when cannabis is that tree that has the river growing on two sides for that healing of nations, and it's going to get rid of that curse, or the curse is going to go away, which is that jail time for using it. But as it's there with the river on two sides, it can bring you high or it can bring you low. Okay? And you have to be taught how to get to the high spot. And there's different ways to get to that high spot. But the way the world teaches you to consume or to whatever, it takes you down to that low spot. Or what you eat, what you drink, what you partake in, that's going to send you down to that low spot. And what I mean by the low spot is the people who consume cannabis. There are the people who, what do you think we should do today? Oh man, I'm wasted on toast, that kind of thing. All right. Or there's people who can do it, and they get energy and they get ideas and they whatever. Okay, so it works. The light works through light. So depending where the crystal's at, where the crystal's buried in the ground and all that shit, all right, if it's buried under a lot of ground, it's going to be grounded and not giving a lot of input when the session goes around. Okay. But and then y'all have seen it where you consume whatever, and then everybody starts flowing and asking why are we doing it? Why? The plants are like, why are y'all destroying our world like it is? The only way we can talk to you is when you consume us, but y'all are so dumbed down you can't get it. And that's why they can plug into plants or mushrooms or whatever they're doing now, and they make music and whatever else is going on. Maybe that's there to tell us something, that when we eat mushrooms or whatever, that helps us be the music to flow, or however that helps us put it on a different frequency to be that fun guy. Hey, right on, man, right on. But you know, when you eat the psilocybin mushrooms or the magic mushrooms or whatever, microdosing is great for an antidepressant or whatever. Get a little microdose of that. It releases serotonin, which is the happy stuff you're trying to get from your pills or whatever. But either way, you can do a little afternoon session. Takes 4 hours, 5 hours of the trip, and get your little perk of serotonin that will last you for a month or so, 3 weeks, whatever. And then while you're under the hallucinations, God can talk to you. The earth can talk to you through these images, through these sounds, through tasting what you see, through tasting what you hear, through, you know what I'm saying? You see the sounds instead of just hearing the sounds. You taste the sounds instead of just hearing the sounds. You become one with the sound. You become one with the earth. The earth becomes one with you. In cannabis, that's hallucinogen. You're partaking the smoke, the marijuana. You meet Jesus in the clouds, that marriage of the bride and groom. So this can be part of where the elect are gathered up, and the elect are able to use the tree of life and able to use the tree of knowledge. They have the sword of fire that protects the tree of knowledge. That sword of fire is your lighter or your matchstick. That goes in all directions. Or the torch. Okay? So that's why the throne glows green. And Jesus is the most high of high. And all those little things. It's all opposite of what y'all been taught. Jesus was that master showman, that master shaman. He brought things to the Jews that they hated him for and killed him. It's where you see in our nation this thing setting up with mushrooms and drugs of the old that used to be illegal. Well, they're actually all legal before the industrial age came out. They made them illegal. They gave alcohol to boost the capitalistic system, because basically all these other drugs, they keep you happy at home. So we're going into a world where we're going to be at home and we're going to want these drugs where you can just take it and be at your house and trip out all day, but you're not really at your house. And you're getting messages from God, you're getting messages from the earth, and we're coming back in tune, and all those little different things, and all the stress of life, the all this hustle and bustle to make money for food, shelter, clothing that should already be free. We shouldn't be busting our ass to pay for any of that shit. That's all for the capitalistic system, but it's all there to learn. But it's all there to also restructure. But anyway, the DNA in us, the green light's connected to that Bud Light, that L. The L's the God of the Hebrews, right? That drink, that whatever. And that Bud Light's been lit up with the transformation, that trans light. And that's that RNA and DNA communication for the translation. I'm just checking the notes to make sure I got all my little things here. So cannabis, the way there's so many things that's being brought to us as propaganda, telling us cannabis is different and stronger and all this stuff. As a breeder of cannabis for 20 plus years, and a grower of cannabis for 20 plus years, and I've grown thousands upon thousands of seeds, that every plant is different. And you have to put the cure into the plant. Not all cannabis is medical without the cure. So with cannabis is so-called stronger today because there's better quality out on the street. But the dank is dank, and dank's always been dank. Okay, so the best weed from old is still the best weed today. All right, just like the best weed today is still the best weed back then. All right, but there's always that favorite plant of ours, and it may be Blue Dream from one, OG Kush for another, Strawberry Cough for one, who knows, okay? But everybody has their own favorite plant, and all these high quality marijuana has always been there. It's just been harder to get. So even without the so-called cure, the medical plant will work, but to get the full effect, where you get the terpenes, the flavonoids, the cannabinoids, and everything, the 3-in-1, all working together to get the maximum amount of the cure. Okay, and when these things are done right, a lot of people can't handle the properly cured stuff because it's too strong or whatever goes on with them. But the plant, as far as the name, where it's grown, how it's grown, who's growing it, who bred it, all these different things are all energetic learning properties of those seeds or whatever. Okay. So this is where it's important to know the farms and whatever else. Okay, so let's talk about cannabis being stronger. Since every seed is different, okay, you can buy 100 blueberry seeds, all right, feminized or not, they're all going to be different, and they all have to be hunted and sifted through, because everyone's going to bring a different thing. And then sometimes a hardcore sift will have another farm grow out a genetic too to see how it turns out. But either way, so they are growing thousands of, as it becomes more available, the more seeds are growing and breeding. So as it's being more bred and more genetics are being sifted through, that's where you get the creme de la creme of the crop being brought. So as you do that, you increase either flavor or effects or those types of things that drives the market. So it's not that they're not doing genetically modified cannabis and all this other stuff, all right? They're collecting that universe and the phylos universe for, and they've been doing the synthetic THC and all that stuff on the market. They've been doing these as tests because eventually the medical system will come out with their prescription vapes or whatever they're going to be doing, because we're going from the ground to whatever way. But there's going to be kind of two things going on. But either way, also cannabis, it can be grown hydroponically or in the earth, and it being done hydroponically now, and how it is, that's part of the hanging gardens of Babylon that we've been told about in one way. Cannabis can be used for 20,000 plus things. So this can be used for that healing of nations, to bring in oil or resources for buildings and whatever else we need. Okay. Either way, so cannabis is a gift from the earth, is a gift from God, is there to teach us, there to heal us, there to help us laugh, there to help us talk, there to enhance the colors in this world, and help us to get along, and to to know others and for them to know us and whatever. But